Hello and welcome to Last Night Today on Labour Social with me, Graham Hughes. I've noticed that Last Week Tonight with John Oliver has been off the air for a few months due to the writers and subsequent actors strike in Hollywood. I fully support this cause, even though I'm not affiliated with a union, guild or studio. That being the case, I thought that since I'm a slightly annoying specky British know-it-all who likes wanging on about American politics, I might have a stab at filling the void, as your dad used to say. So, here we are, my version of Last Week Tonight, and I hope you enjoy it. It took me countless hours to put this together, working through the night and day. I even added a little animated text to the side of the screen. But my motivation for doing this is to discuss Donald Trump, because, let's be real, the orange man-baby situation is rather amusing, to say the least. He is facing indictments in 4 separate cases, encompassing a total of 91 charges. For us who hate Trump and everything that Cheeto Voldemort stands for, it's like all our Christmases come at once. Let's delve into some of the charges he's facing, shall we? We're all familiar with the Stormy Daniels hush money situation. Basically, he spent money that he should have been using for political purposes or something on a porn star to keep quiet about their affair. While this may seem like relatively minor, it involves a staggering 34 felony counts. Incredibly, this trial, which is scheduled to kick off on March the 25th next year in New York, seems like the least of his problems. Next, we have the case involving stolen classified documents. Trump is accused of pilfering classified documents and concealing them. What about Mike Pence? I hear the MAGAs cry from their swamp. What about Biden? They had classified documents. Yeah, but they handed them over. Trump lied about having the documents, blocked the FBI investigation, and stored boxes and boxes of these papers in the dunny at Mar-a-Lago, presumably next to his hair in a can, orange clown makeup, and copy of Razzle. Those records included information about the secretive US nuclear program and potential vulnerabilities in the event of an attack on America. But I guess he's never going to run out of bog paper, right? The third indictment, probably the most significant, relates to January the 6th, 2021, when thousands of Trump's angry yet gormless disciples stormed the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., possibly in search of moonshine. Trump incited his mob of Billy Bog squatters to fight like hell. Those were the words he used. And they did, leading to the deaths of at least 5 people and 138 police officers being injured. This indictment is being overseen by Jack Smith, the same federal prosecutor handling the classified documents case in Florida. But they saved the best to last. Just before midnight last night, Trump was indicted for a 4th time, accused of subverting the election or attempting to subvert the election outcome in Georgia. The charges include racketeering or RICO, a crime historically used to bring down mobsters. Interestingly, in Georgia, you don't need to be directly involved with each crime to be held accountable. If you are part of the conspiracy, you're implicated. And aside from Trump, there are 18, count them, co-conspirators charged with 41 felony counts in all. Generally speaking, if one goes down, they all go down. So Trump will presumably have to foot the legal bills, not only for himself, but for everyone implicated in these crimes. And considering his primary source of income is exploiting his Forrest Trump-esque fanboys, many of whom are not exactly wealthy, he's in a bit of a bind. This is a state-level case, and that's crucial because at the federal level, Trump can potentially halt investigations, stop trials, or pardon himself if he, God forbid, becomes president again. But it gets better. Under the RICO Act, if found guilty, he could face 20 years in jail. At his age, that's a one-way ticket. And that's just the criminal charges. Trump also faces a slew of civil cases, e.g. Eugene Carroll is seeking at least $10 million more dollars In a separate defamation lawsuit she amended after Trump blasted the verdict from the first trial, in which he was found guilty of sexual assault, on CNN and on his social media platform. Also, New York Attorney General Letitia James is suing Trump and his family business, the Trump Organization, for alleged fraud by him and his family. James accuses Trump of lying about the value of his assets and his own net worth to obtain better terms from lenders and insurers. I know, right? He seems so honest. That trial kicks off on October the 2nd. And that's not all. Did I mention the pyramid scheme? Oh, there's always a pyramid scheme. Trump is on the hook for fraud, unfair competition, and deceptive trade practices in a case that likely involves more than 100 plaintiffs and $5 million in damages. It looks like Trump concealed that his organization had received millions of dollars across 10 years in exchange for reassuring potential salespeople for the American Communications Network, or ANC, that there was little risk if they started selling its phone service. That trial kicks off in January. But wait, it gets even better. This week, two eminent right-wing law professors concluded that the 14th Amendment bars Trump from standing for president. If you were wondering why the charges brought in DC for the Capitol riot don't include a charge for insurrection, it's probably because Jack Smith knows that's going to be tough to prove in court. The good news is, according to these professors, William Bord and Michael Stokes-Paulson, Trump doesn't need to be found guilty in a court of law to be automatically disqualified from standing. Frankly, I'll be honest, I despise Trump, so I'm loving this. His polls may be up, but that doesn't mean he'll be found not guilty of every single one of these 91 criminal charges, almost all of which seem like a slam dunk. He can't pardon himself if found guilty of racketeering charges in Georgia. He may not even be on the ballot in many states. He's probably running out of money, and the money he does have to campaign on will now be going to his legal fees, which could soon conceivably start running to like over $1 million a day. So, what's next for Trump? Well, with his presidential prospects dwindling, the solicitor's bills racking up, and the likelihood of a custodial sentence increasing by the day, I think that he might well resort to doing a runner. Just like Philip Schofield. That wraps up today's show. Until next time.